I spent 10 years pretending he didn't exist. 10 years walking past that gaze. 10 years hearing the faint thumping of a tail on the floor when I arrived. And 10 years choosing to look away. Until the night I almost died. And it was that very dog, the one I ignored for an entire decade, who decided that I still deserved to live. If you've ever regretted something, if you've ever pushed someone important aside, thinking you'd have time later, stay with me until the end of this story, because what happened that night changed my life forever, and it might change yours, too. And before we begin, if real, moving stories filled with meaning touch your heart, subscribe to the channel now. Here, every story carries a lesson that can transform the way you see life. Now, take a deep breath, because this isn't just a story about a dog. It's about guilt, about loyalty, and about second chances. His name was Max. I got him when I still lived in the old farmhouse, back when my life was simpler. Max was small, clumsy, with ears much too big for his body. He followed me everywhere. If I went to the barn, he went. If I walked to the pond, he went. If I sat on the porch, he lay at my feet. But life changed. My father died. Responsibilities grew. The farm started losing money. The bills rolled in like a storm. I stopped smiling. And, without realizing it, I began to push away everything that reminded me of the past. Including Max. He was still there. He always was. But I didn't call him for walks anymore. I didn't throw the ball. I didn't scratch him behind the ears. He grew old. And I grew cold. Max started getting slower. His once shiny coat was now gray. His steps were no longer steady. Sometimes he limped slightly, but he never complained. I saw it. But I pretended not to. Always too busy. Always too tired. Always telling myself, I'll give him attention later. Later turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. He started sleeping near the kitchen door. Every time I came home from work, he would struggle to stand up, wagging his tail slowly, waiting. And I would walk right past him. Even today, it hurts to remember that. Because what I saw as just a dog was, in fact, someone who never stopped loving me. Even when I stopped deserving it. That night felt different from the start. The sky was heavy, almost purple, and the wind blew with a force that made the windows rattle. I was frustrated. The bank had denied another loan extension, and I felt the weight of the entire farm on my shoulders. The rain started suddenly, thick, violent. I decided to go out and check the shed before something worse happened. I grabbed the flashlight and opened the door. The wind nearly ripped it from my hand. Max stood up with difficulty when he saw me leave. He tried to follow. Stay! I shouted, losing my patience. He stopped. But he never took his eyes off me. Crossing the yard was like fighting nature itself. The rain soaked my clothes in seconds. When I entered the shed, I noticed part of the roof was loose. I should have left. But I took a few more steps to check on the animals. Then, I heard a loud crack. Before I could react, a heavy beam plummeted. The impact was brutal. I fell to the floor, breathless, the flashlight rolling away, darkness swallowing me as the storm roared outside. And for the first time in a long time, I was afraid I wouldn't make it out alive. I tried to push the beam pressing against my back, but my arms failed. Air entered my lungs with difficulty. Every breath felt like a knife piercing my chest. The rain began to pour through the hole in the roof, forming icy puddles around me. I screamed, but the wind swallowed the sound. There, alone in the dark, I thought about everything I had neglected. I thought about my father. I thought about the farm. I thought about my wrong choices. And I thought about Max. That dog who, despite being ignored for so many years, still lifted his head every time I arrived. A flash of lightning illuminated the shed for a second. And that's when I heard it. A bark. Distant, but insistent. Another bark. then another. My heart raced. He hadn't stayed. Even old. Even tired. Even ignored. He was out there. And he knew. Max entered the shed through the open side. I heard his paws slipping in the mud. I heard his low whimpering as he approached. He tried to pull my shirt with his teeth. He tried to push the wood with his fragile body. He didn't have the strength to lift the beam. But he had something greater. Determination. When he realized he couldn't do it alone, he ran back out into the storm. And he started barking. It wasn't a normal bark. It was urgent, desperate. He barked at the road, at the void, at anyone who might hear. He barked without stopping. The wind carried the sound through the night. I drifted in and out of consciousness, hearing that barking as if it were the only thing keeping me tethered to life. That dog I had ignored for 10 years was fighting for me. The nearest neighbor lived far away, almost half a mile. But that night, the wind blew in the right direction. He heard the barking. He found it strange. Max never barked like that. He grabbed his raincoat and went out with a flashlight. He followed the sound to the gate of my property. Max would run a few yards ahead, then turn back, as if saying, "Hurry." When they reached the shed, they found me nearly unconscious. The neighbor shouted for help while other men from the road came running. They removed the beam with great effort. I could barely feel my body. Later, I learned I had fractured ribs and the onset of hypothermia. The doctor was blunt. "One more hour there, and you wouldn't have made it. One more hour." A single hour separated my life from death. And it was an old dog, ignored for a decade, who changed that fate. I woke up 2 days later in the hospital. The white light of the ceiling seemed distant. The smell of medicine mixed with silence left me confused. My first question was, "Max?" The neighbor smiled. "He didn't leave your front door until we had news. When I was discharged, he brought him to me." Max walked in slowly, thinner than I remembered, more tired. But when our eyes met, something inside me broke. He approached with slow steps and rested his head on my casted leg. No demands, no resentment, just love. A love I didn't deserve. I ran my hand through his gray fur and, for the first time in years, I cried without trying to hide it. He almost died trying to save me, and yet, all he offered me was loyalty. In that moment, I understood. The one I ignored for 10 years never stopped choosing to stay. Going back home after the hospital was different. Every corner of that farm seemed to carry memories I had tried to ignore for years. And Max, he was always by my side. This time, I didn't walk past him. I would sit on the porch and he would come, slowly, lying near my feet just like he did when he was a puppy. Sometimes I talked to myself, telling him about my fears, my debts, my guilt. He listened in silence, with that calm gaze that seemed to understand everything. I started waking up earlier just to walk with him. They were slow, short steps. He didn't have the same strength anymore, but he still had presence. And every night before going to sleep, I would kneel beside him and scratch him behind the ears, exactly as I did 10 years ago. "Forgive me," I would whisper. He would just rest his head on my knee. What hurt the most wasn't the accident. It was knowing that I wasted years of a love that never ceased to exist. Some things in life we can get back. Time is not one of them. The summer arrived hotter that year. Max no longer ran. He no longer barked at the birds. He spent long hours lying in the shade of the old tree in the yard. I moved a chair close to him. If before I was too busy, now I was too present, trying to make up for what couldn't be undone. One silent afternoon, he stood up with difficulty and walked to me. He laid his head in my lap and closed his eyes. I felt something different. I stayed there, petting him gently, as the sun began to set. The wind was light. The farm was silent. And, as if he had waited for the right moment, he took a deep breath. And he didn't breathe again. There was no drama. There was no pain. Only peace. I stayed there for a long time, holding that body that had once been small, strong, agile, and was now at rest. He saved my life. And in the end, he taught me how to live. I buried Max near the tree where he liked to rest. I planted flowers around it. I made a small wooden plaque with his name. But what remained wasn't just the memory. It was the change. I started noticing things I used to ignore. The birds singing in the morning, the smell of wet earth after the rain, the silence that isn't empty, its presence. I learned that true love doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It doesn't keep score. It remains. Even when it isn't returned. Today, when someone tells me they are too busy for those they love, I think of Max. Because sometimes, the person, or the being, that you think will always be there, might not be there tomorrow. And when tomorrow arrives too late, regret weighs more than any fallen beam. If you've listened to this story until now, I want to ask you one thing. Don't wait for a storm to value those by your side. Don't wait for an accident. Don't wait for a loss. Don't wait for the final silence. True love might be sitting near you right now, waiting only for a gesture, a look, a moment of attention. There is still time. If there is someone you've been ignoring, a father, a mother, a friend, a child, or even a pet that only wants your presence, do something today. Send a message. Give a hug. Show some affection. Say, I love you. Because time doesn't come back. But the decision to change starts now. If this story touched your heart, write in the comments. I will not wait. This helps this message reach more people who might also be postponing what truly matters. And if you believe that stories like this remind us of what's worth it in life, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story is an invitation to live better, love more, and leave fewer regrets behind. I'll see you in the next story. Until then, choose to love while there is still time.